It's This Week in Penn State Football. Bob Flounders, Greg Pickel. We're talking Nittany Lions ahead of the 2018 season. And Bob, I have two questions for you this week.
I'm excited.
Start out first in the trenches. This is not rehearsed. No, I want to start out in the trenches. Your undervalued players in the trenches on the offensive and defensive line. Give me a guy at each spot that we aren't talking enough about that we should be.
Yeah, I can't say that I've always been his biggest fan, especially dating back to last year. Undervalued on the offensive line, it has to be Steven Gonzalez as one of the guards, and also Chaz Wright. I mean, we kept talking about Will Fries, and you hear the coaches talk about Will Fries and how he's developed as a young player, and now Ryan Bates is healthy, and yet you saw in the spring, Chaz Wright had held on to the right tackle job, at least looked like that, and I think that the plan is either one of those players, Bates or Fries, is heading to the bench, or one of those players is heading to guard, because I think Wright is part of the 5 best O-linemen. So he definitely gets it, and Steven Gonzalez will be entering his 3rd year as a starting guard.
Maybe the quietest 3-year starter in program history.
Yeah, you know, he's a big guy, but you know, doesn't usually have a lot to say. And depending on who you talk to, some people thought he had a really good year last year. So on the defensive side, those are my guys. I don't know on the excuse me, that's on the offensive side. On the defensive side, I don't know how much praise this guy has gotten, but I always listen to Sean Spencer, and he is super keen on Kevin Givens taking the next step and being a 3 technique who's versatile and can play multiple positions, and almost like Anthony Zettel was in 2014 and 2015. I think he is definitely that guy. They have some issues, I think, behind the starters. Robert Windsor's another starter at tackle. And I'm not sure really what to make of him this year. He's dropped some weight, according to Penn State. He's dropped about 20 pounds. You just wonder what he gains in quickness. They need a guy with some size to play the nose tackle position. Typically, it's a 300-pound guy that's holding down that job. That was Austin Johnson, and that was Parker Cothran. If we go to the end group, I've always been a champion of Ryan Buchholz, so I still believe he can have a really big year. But I'm going to go to one of the younger players, and for me, it's Yetur Gross-Matos.
There you go.
I do think that this is entering his 2nd year. I thought he did some good things in the final couple weeks of the season, and I think he's going to take the next step. He does look like he could play a couple different positions on that Penn State defensive line, and I think he is a guy that could, you know, given enough snaps, he is a guy that could be a dominant player at Penn State very soon.